What if I told you that thousands of homeowners across Ontario right now, today, are trapped? They can't sell because if they sell, they lose over $300,000. They can't rent it out because renting it out actually costs them more money every single month. And they can't keep paying for it because their mortgage just renewed and their payment nearly doubled. This is not a story I made up. This is a phone call I actually received. I have a feeling if you're watching this, you might be in a very similar situation, or you know someone who is. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what's happening, why it's happening, and most importantly, what your real options actually are. Let's get into it. A few weeks ago, I've got a phone call from a homeowner that was referred to me by my old client. Let's call her Sarah. She's based in Milton, Ontario, part of the outskirts of Toronto in GTA. But this story also applied to a lot of other towns in GTA as well. She bought her home in early 2022, right at the peak of the market. She paid 1.3 million for a detached house. At that time, it felt like a smart move. They were competing for months on properties and they were getting tired of losing out on bids over bids. Interest rates were also at historic low, so they jumped on a house while competing with four other offers, and they got the house and locked in a mortgage at just over 1.5% on a 4-year fix. Monthly payments was manageable and life was good. Fast forward to today, mortgage just came up for renewal. The bank is offering 4%. That's almost 4 times what she was paying for before on her rate. And that doesn't just slightly increase her payment, it nearly doubles it. We're talking potentially an extra $2,000 or more every single month just in mortgage payments. Now Sarah thinks, okay, maybe I should just sell the house. So she calls me, I pull the comps, and I have to deliver some difficult news. Sarah, homes like yours in Milton right now, they're selling for around $950,000 to $1 million, not 1.3 million. That's a loss of $300,000 to $350,000 before we even talk about real estate commissions, legal fees, and land transfer taxes. She went silent on the phone for a moment and then she's like, so what do I do? Here is what she's experiencing and what many Ontario homeowners are living right now. According to the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, the average GTA home price is down roughly 26% from its peak in early 2022. In some specific markets, suburbs, and property types, that number is even higher. Think about it. If you bought a $1.3 million home at the peak, a 26% drop means your home is now worth around $960,000. You're underwater in negative equity. The value of your home is less than what you owe on it, and mortgage renewals, roughly 60% of Canadians with mortgages who are renewing in 2025 and 2026 are expected to face higher payments, even after the Bank of Canada has been cutting rates, because many of them locked in at those pandemic era lows of 1%, 1.5%, and now they're renewing it into rates around 4%. The data also shows that 25% of homes bought under 1 million in 2022 and resold in 2024 results in a loss for a seller. A loss. This is not a small problem. This is happening right across the GTA, in Milton, Brampton, Hamilton, Barrie, Ajax, Pickering, and even in Toronto. And it affects not just first-time buyers, but investors, families, move-up buyers, and everyone. So Sarah's like, I can't sell. What if I just rent it out and move somewhere cheaper? Well, on the surface, this sounds logical, right? Let someone else cover the cost and move in with the family, or rent even like a smaller place. But here's where it gets tricky. Let's run the numbers together. Sarah's home in Milton could realistically rent for around $3,000 to $3,200 a month. But her new mortgage payment after renewal is closer to $5,000 a month. That's a gap of $2,000 every single month out of her own pocket just to keep the property. Then she has to live somewhere. If she rents a place for herself or her family, she's looking at another $2,500 to $3,000 a month. So instead of solving the problem, renting out the house actually puts Sarah in a position where she's spending more per month than she was before. And there's another layer to this rental situation that most people don't think about until it's too late. In Ontario, once you put a tenant into your property, you're now a landlord under the Residential Tenancy Act. And that comes with legal responsibilities and protections for the tenant. If Sarah ever wants to sell that house while a tenant is living there, it becomes more complicated. She can't just sell it vacant. She has to either sell it with the tenant in place, which limits her buyer pool significantly, or she has to go through a legal process to have the tenant vacate, which can take months and sometimes over a year if there are disputes. So what is the right move here? First, I told her the most important thing is to not panic and not make a rushed decision. A decision made in fear is almost always the wrong one. Second, I told her to get clarity on all the numbers, not just the mortgage and the property tax and the maintenance and insurance, the true cost of holding that property every month. You know, there are some upkeep to the property as well that you need to consider. Because once you know exactly what the bleeding looks like, you can make a real plan. Third, I told her her options generally come down to 4 paths. Option 1 is hold and absorb the higher payments if the income supports it and believe the market will recover, which experts suggest could happen by 2027 or 2029, roughly between 2027 and 2029. Holding may be the right option. Option 2 is sell now, take the loss, reset. Yes, it hurts right now, but some people are better off cutting their losses, clearing their debt, and starting fresh rather than bleeding every month for years. And option 3, rent it strategically, but only if you've done the full financial analysis and you have a clear exit plan. Don't rent to just delay the decision. Option 4 is talk to your lender about options. Can you extend your amortization to lower monthly payment, for example, right? Some lenders have programs for people in financial hardship. You need to have this conversation proactively with them before you miss a payment. There is a no one size fits all answer here. Every situation is different, which is why if you're in a similar situation to Sarah, I want you to reach out to me directly. If you bought a home in 2021 or 2022 and you're facing a renewal, sitting on a loss, or just not sure what your options are, call me, text me, send me a message. My number is in the description. I'm not here to sell you something. I'm here to give you a real, honest conversation. Because the worst thing you can do is go through this alone or make a major financial decision without the full picture. I've helped people in exactly Sarah's situation, and in most cases, there are more options than they realize. If this video helped you or someone you know, please share it, because I guarantee you, someone in your circle is dealing with this right now and doesn't know where to turn. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.